You stand in the doorway of your apartment, lights off, city humming through the window. The phone is a small lighthouse on the counter, throwing calendar fumes into the dark. Meetings you already survived keep walking around your head, heavy shoes on thin floors. You've stopped, but your feet haven't gotten the memo. Your pulse keeps trotting laps, searching for a finish line that moved. Chasing is a posture, not a task list. It's the forward lean you wear after the race ends, the quiet belief that if you just grab one more thing, the ground will finally approve of you. You refresh, you skim, you scoop glitter from other people's headlines. Your hands are busy. Your center is homeless. There's another way. Not grabbing attention, but organizing your own field. You decide what grows here. 3 rows of craft, a line of rest, a fence that faces the wind. You stop sprinting across other plots and start tending soil you can touch. Attention becomes a tool again, not a leash. You glimpse yourself from the ceiling like a kind stranger might. You look like a dog after its tail, adorable, sad, spinning. The laughter in the room doesn't reach your eyes. Momentum without aim feels like kindness. You forgot to offer your knees. Here's the map we'll unfold on the table. First, how to see chasing while it's happening, not just after the crash. Then how to unhook the alarms that keep your body jogging a day that ended an hour ago. Finally, how to let gravity work, how choosing quietly arranges the room until effort falls in line. You're not weak. You're wired for alarms that never learn to reset. We'll teach them slowly with edges and breath. There's a single sentence that cools rooms on fire. We'll reach it later. Chasing is simple to name and hard to notice. It means arranging your day around other people's clocks and opinions, letting their alerts braid your spine. Your calendar becomes a hallway of open doors you didn't choose, each one tugging at your sleeve. You're moving a lot and landing nowhere, generous with time you didn't budget and attention you can't replace. There is a clean difference. Pursuit is aimed, measured, chosen. It has a map, a pace, and a proof. You decide the hill, set the tempo, and count the steps. A chase is reactive and performative. It answers the loudest thing, not the truest thing. It reads faces before facts. It spends today auditioning for tomorrow's approval. A small story. You offer a quick yes to help just this once. It works so the request repeats softer and faster. By month's end, the yes has a leash. You check your messages like someone else owns your evening. Nothing exploded. You were simply trained by your own kindness. Use a simple model. Signal, scramble, spend. A signal lands. Ping, praise, panic. You scramble, drop your plan, sprint the hallway, promise extra. Then you spend attention, dignity, leverage, all on tasks that don't thicken your future. Tomorrow you wake lighter in the wrong places. Here's the balm for your chest. You weren't needy. You were unframed. Frames keep help humane and effort renewable. Put rails on your yes and your hands remember they have work of their own. Your nervous system isn't the enemy. It just needs a new job. We'll teach it to notice alarms. Name them without sprinting and return to the work that pays you back. Next, we'll show your body how choosing creates gravity, and how gravity gathers the scattered pieces until they stand with you again. You set a magnet on the table and tap it. Iron filings shiver into lines, racing to the poles. That's what attention does when appetite points. Rushes wherever the strongest pull lives. Chasing isn't mystery. It's physics. The field forms, the filings follow, and your day arranges itself around whatever buzzed loudest, not what mattered most. Here's the pattern that repeats like a drumline: scarcity theater, speed panic, sloppy yes, reputation trap. Scarcity theater announces that there isn't enough time, love, money, or spotlight. Speed panic floods your chest. You sprint to prove you're still in the room. Sloppy yes tumbles out, unpriced and unplanned. Then the reputation trap snaps shut. You become the easiest path, so the asks multiply and the field grows stronger tomorrow. Hold a gentler law. What you chase outruns. What you host arrives. When you stop lunging, you start arranging. Hosts set tables. Chasers knock over chairs. Try a small experiment. One afternoon you answer slower. You read the message, breathe twice and type a line with rails. Available for 40 minutes at 3. Scope is review only. Risk list first, watch what happens. The thread stops shouting and starts sorting. Someone else claims ownership. The meeting shrinks to fit the work. Respect rises because you created a center that doesn't wobble. Gravity is not a mood. It's a build gravity. Standards x consistency x time. Name the standard once. Keep it 10 times. Let time do the heavy lifting you were wasting on sprinting. Filings don't question a field that stays steady. They line up. You don't have to fight magnets. You can place them. We'll build your field on a corner of the counter, with a card and a pen. Standards are not walls. They're broadcasts. They tell the room what channel you run on. Pace, scope, and price tuned before the music starts. A standard is a pre-commitment. How fast you move, what you include, and what it costs. You don't invent it under pressure. You post it in daylight so midnight you can rest. Know the contrasts. Friendliness is warmth. Availability is a schedule. You can be generous and still be booked. Kindness is care. Compliance is self-erasure. One brings blankets. The other rents your spine. When you blur them, noise wanders in, and soon your calendar is a public park with no gates. Use a simple protocol. Defer, define, deliver. Defer by a small pause. Happy to help. I'll confirm it too. That breath prevents sloppy yeses. Define, state the window, the spec, the proof. 40 minutes at 3, review only. Risk list posted first. Deliver. Meet your own terms without theater. Quiet competence becomes a beacon overnight. Noise drifts away. Fit walks toward you because fit loves edges. A small story. A shiny panel invites you. Good room, bright names. You decline politely to ship one irreversible artifact. The release that makes next month easier. You send the build, the rollback, the note. The panel applauds without you. Your users sleep better because you chose a weight that stays lifted. The signal travels. This is someone who chooses gravity over glitter. Here's your balm. You're not aloof, you're legible. People trust what they can read. When your yes has rails, your no needs no essay. Standards don't make you hard. They make you clear enough for the right hands to find you. Chasing hides inside good intentions too. Helpfulness, loyalty, speed. 8 wears 7 friendly disguises. Let's name them and learn the counters that keep your broadcast clean. Chasing rarely shouts. It borrows clothes and waves you forward. The first outfit is the scarcity rush. A clock waved like a flare as if minutes are vanishing into a drain. Your counter is simple. Freeze the spec and price the yes. What exactly, by when, at what cost? Clarity slows the stampede. Next, the optics trap. The camera points at a thread and you feel summoned to be seen. Trade visibility for a measurable outcome. Choose the pull request, the pass rate, shipped fix. Numbers outlast confetti. Then comes the loyalty photo. Jump in the screenshot. We're aligned. Align on plan, then appear. Outline owner's risks review gate. After that, smile. The morality nudge whispers, if you cared, you'd hurry. Name the value and the method. I care about safety, so we list risks and keep rollback ready. Love speaks in procedures. The proximity pull tugs hardest. A nearby win makes your afternoon feel smaller. Protect leverage hours and schedule access. Office hours are kindness. On-call is a contract. The debt reminder opens a ledger. Remember when we covered you? Offer gratitude with governance. Thank you. And I'll help once the brief and owners are posted. Finally, the apology loop. You start explaining, and the yes grows hair. Rails, not reasons, time, scope, cost. One line there. A clean no is cheaper than a dirty yes. The first ends a loop. The second rents your weekend. Each counter move is quiet, portable, and kind to tomorrow's you. Use them like small brakes on a long hill. They keep the wheels round. Hold this broadcast and noise will find other rooms. The right work will hear you and walk closer, relieved. And when pressure tries to buy your edge with words, remember, talking more won't save you. Here's why explanations bleed power. You tried to be generous, so you wrote 3 careful paragraphs explaining the delay, the detour, the promises you're still trying to keep. You hit send expecting relief. What arrived instead was less respect and 2 requests wrapped in thanks. Your clarity taught the room a lesson you didn't intend. Your non-negotiables are open to negotiation if the story is long enough. Here's the leak in slow motion. Explain, expose, escalate. First you explain, hoping light will cool heat. Then you expose your hinges, where you're stretched, which levers move you, how to turn your no into a maybe. Finally they escalate, not from malice, but because you drew the map. Authority drains sentence by sentence, until your boundary sounds like a suggestion. Every explanation spends a little crown, not because honesty is weak, but because excess detail signals you're seeking permission for a decision already made. Long reasons invite rebuttals. Short frames invite respect. So trade reasons for rails. Rails are brief, testable, and kind. Time. Available for 40 minutes at 3. The rest moves to Monday. Scope. Review only. No new features. Price. Rush rate after 6. Standard. Green after checklist and rollback. Otherwise pause. Then 1 proof they own. Post owners and risks by 2. I'll start when it's up. You're not pleading. You're pacing. Tempo replaces drama. People plan because the ground stopped shifting. Warmth survives this. Tone can be soft while the frame stays firm. Save stories for retrospectives, where lessons compound instead of eroding your stance. When pressed, don't add paragraphs. Add a term. Repeat once. Begin the work you named. Let your calendar, your checklist, and your review gate carry the message while you breathe. Respect returns to its seat because you kept yours. 2 minutes to end the chase. Your quiet ledger. You sit in the lamp's small pool while the kettle hums like a sleepy engine 2 rooms away. On the table rests a card you made from an index and a bit of tape. Across the top in steady ink ledger, you touch the corner, as if to remind your hands they still belong to you. 2 minutes. Not to perform, only to gather. First 40 seconds, name the aim. Ask what today is for in 1 clean noun: draft, outreach, repair, rest. Not everything, 1 field to tend, write it. Let stray tasks fall against the fence without apology. When the aim is named, gravity knows where to stand. Second 40, price the yes. Choose the time window you can actually give, the scope that protects quality, and 1 proof that counts. 90 minutes for stability only. Success equals 98 pass rate. Rollback ready. Put the terms where even midnight you would understand them. Third 40, pick the smallest irreversible rep. A paragraph merged, a test added, a call scheduled and sent. Something that changes the state of the world, not just your mood. Irreversible turns hope solid. Bonus 40, schedule the rep before noon. Morning is leverage. After lunch is weather. Put it on the calendar with a door that locks from the inside. Whisper the line that keeps your center intact. Answer as the owner, not the overflow. Owners set terms and move once. Overflows apologize and spill twice. The pen scratches. Your shoulders drop. Breath evens. The room stops borrowing your pulse. What chased you now orbits. Your plan holds the weight. The card slides back beneath the mug for next time. Carry the ledger to the next conversation. Place it gently between the ask and your hands, and watch the heat find nowhere to live but work. You're halfway to the door when the ping lands. Can you jump in now? Everyone's waiting. The room feels tilted toward hurry, eyes measuring your pause like a verdict. Old muscle wants to sprint. New muscle remembers the ledger and the breath that makes gravity. You mirror one fact. Yes, the meeting's live. Nothing defensive, nothing extra. Then you set one window. I can give 40 minutes starting at 3. After that, I'm back on the release. Shoulders ease because time has an edge. Finally, one measurable step. Post owners and the risk list in the thread within 10. I'll review and return a go-no-go by 3:40. If green, we lock scope and schedule rollout with rollback ready. The room tilts to your tempo. Urgency looks for oxygen and finds rails instead. A product lead types names. QA adds failure cases. The chat's volume drops to works level. You haven't rejected the ask. You've organized it. Warmth stays in your voice. Precision in your hands. Respect rises because you stopped selling speed and started buying signal. Someone mutters, "We really need it faster." You nod. "We need truer." Gravity belongs to steady hands. They keep the table from wobbling. The 40 minutes arrive and leave on time. Your review lands like a small gavel, clear, testable, human. This is power without performance. Mirror a fact, set a window, propose a proof. Repeat until the habit speaks before anxiety does. Chasing scatters force. Choosing aligns it. The same day that once ran you now gathers around your terms and gets better for everyone. Carry the ledger to the next door, the next thread, the next kitchen table. Rooms will heat again. That's fine. You have rails, a clock, and a pulse that listens to you. Here's the single sentence for rooms on fire. Here it is. Small enough for a pocket and strong enough for heat. Happy to move fast once risks are named, and rollback exists by Friday. Say it level. No drum roll, no sigh. It doesn't argue with urgency. It gives urgency rails. Picture a chaotic stand-up. Tabs open, voices stacking, a deadline wobbling on legs. Someone chants ship now. You place the sentence like a stone. Happy to move fast once risks are named, and rollback exists by Friday. The current parts. A tester starts a risk list. Owners appear. The spec freezes enough to hold shape. Oxygen returns because the room has edges. Work replaces theater, and your pulse remembers its job. Authority is the quiet that survives pressure. You didn't win by volume. You won by terms. The line carries respect without borrowing trouble. It keeps goodwill intact while insisting on method. It makes speed safe. Carry variations with the same spine. Work. I'm in when owners, risks, and review gate are written. Family. Yes, when we agree time, budget, and how we'll reset after. Friendships. Count me in if we set a cap and a check-in. Different nouns. One posture. Pace welcomed, form required. Proof dated. Say it often enough and your nervous system learns the rhythm. Repetition turns posture into character. Character into culture. Teams begin to time their asks to your cadence and thank you for the air it brings. Homes soften because plans have doors and windows. Friend groups stop sprinting and start arriving. Keep the sentence where you keep your keys. Use it tonight if the clock tries to play king, and tomorrow before the feed spins. Practice is the price of peace, and you can afford it. One line plainly spoken becomes a room's new floor, and the weak remembers how to stand. The day begins quieter, as if the building learned your name. Notifications thin to a trickle. Your calendar looks like a street with lights evenly spaced, not a carnival. You make things that don't blow away. A clean release, a page that clarifies, a message that closes a loop without opening 3 more. Work turns into artifacts that hold when you're offline. People start asking for your version of calm. Evening remembers. The phone lights the counter, same glow as before. Your breath doesn't lean. You look once, then choose. The thing you decided this morning still stands, so you let it carry you. Gravity has arrived, not as weight, but as arrangement. What matters finds your hands. What doesn't drifts to the edges. The room feels designed again. You keep the quiet ritual. Ledger before reply, ledger before decision, ledger before sleep. Name the aim, price the yes. Pick the smallest irreversible rep. Schedule it before noon. You stop performing urgency and start pacing results. The week stops asking who you are because your days answer it their own. People say you're easier to trust. They mean your edges are readable and your speed has a break that works. Meetings shorten. Threads cool. The same hours grow deeper because they aren't escaping sideways. You measure days by proofs, not applause, and the proofs stack like stones across a stream. Keep this simple charge close. Ledger first. Breath even. Choose, then move once. Guard your pace. Your pace will guard your power. If you forget, start again with whatever morning you have left. One line on a card resets the field. One proof rebuilds the road. There's an open seat for the rare and the patient, the ones who choose tempo that lets others